The 11th edition of the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba is running under the theme Just Energy Transition for Sustainable Communities in a Climate Crisis Era. So you find that over the past 10 years, the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba has mainly been talking about mining issues, as the name is saying, Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba. We've been discussing around mining issues, the opportunities, the challenges. But this time, the 11th edition is coming in with a number of issues that we're going to be discussing, and these are mainly looking at the natural resource governance issues and management of the natural resources that we have in Zimbabwe. So the Alternative Mining Indaba in Cape Town that happened in May was also running with the same theme that we are running with in this year of the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba, as the discourse we had during the Alternative Mining Indaba was speaking around issues to do with energy transition, looking at what is happening within our African countries, sharing experiences, learning, trying to understand this concept of energy transition, what it means for us as Africans, what it means for our countries, and how best can we adapt and also be able to follow through and not be left out, but also remembering the challenges that we've always been having within our African country. I welcome you to this 11th edition, and let's have a discussion. Let's deliberate on the opportunities and challenges that are being presented to us within the natural resources that we have in Zimbabwe. What are the governance issues? How best can we manage our natural resources to ensure that at least at the end of the day, all the communities that are within the natural resource-rich areas benefit and they are not left out? This is the end game for us as the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba platform, that we do not want to have the communities left out, whether it's in the mining areas, whether it's about wildlife, whether it's about agriculture. All these issues we are going to be exploring, and I hope you will be able to participate in these discussions and we have fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
I want to welcome you all to the 2022 Alternative Mining Indaba here in Zimbabwe under the theme towards energy transition. And we are celebrating the work the Alternative Mining Indaba has done as a space to create meaningful conversation related to the natural resources in our country and in the continent, and how these resources can be leveraged towards the improvement of life of many citizens. As we are meeting at this year's ZAMI, we want to recognize that we find ourselves in a deep contradiction, where we are recognizing that we are endowed with so much resources, natural resources, but our people are still in deep struggle economically. Even though we recognize the aspiration of the government, we do not know how long this is going to translate into meaningful improvement of life for our people. So as we are going to be deliberating here, we want to come up with ideas and proposals, not only to end as conversations, but also to see how these can be used to contribute to the policy infrastructure that can translate to the alleviation of poverty for our people. So I welcome you to this year's ZAMI, and let's have a meaningful conversation.
We are gathered under the theme A Just Energy Transition for Sustainable Mining Communities in a Climate Crisis Era. How timely this is in terms of building up to the many conversations at various levels that lead to our COP27, where we want to build our African voice in terms of building just transition energy systems, in terms of responding to climate change. We are gathered in 2022 after a protracted, I would say, 2 years of COVID-19, which hindered us from gathering, physically in the numbers that we are in this year. So this is such a great honor and privilege to connect with government, in terms of public institutions, parliament, government departments, the private sector, mining companies, civil society organizations that are working in the mining sector, in the extractive sector, but also most importantly our mining host communities that bear the brunt, that feel and experience the different impacts of climate change, of extractivism. I hope that in the following days that we're going to be hosting the ZAMI, we are going to deliberate on the various impacts and disruptions that we have faced, but not only problematize the issues, but come up with alternatives, come up with solutions that will build our Zimbabwean voice, our African voice. All the best, and thank you very much once again for setting aside time. This is very busy period. This is very challenging times. So to make time to gather and to deliberate on these important issues that have been outlined in our very packed program is such an honor and a privilege for us as your hosts, for us as your coordinators and hosts of this summit.